Also, when you are working with the polygroups, you have some options of operations like this one in this case, which is clear all, which clear all the selection that you have at any moment. You can make some selections, and in some moment you say, oh yeah, this is wrong. Let me clear everything. This is how clear is going to work. And the opposite operation, which is flood fill current. And this is another options that you have. Now, I want to mention one important thing about the paint polygroups. You can see here in the visualization that you have two options, which are show heat group and show all groups. The first time that you generate the polygroup automatically, let's say that we do this and we generate, and then we go to the paint polygroups, you can see that it generates 6 sides corresponding to all the sides of this cube in this case. And at this moment, we have, these are the basic sides that are selected by default, that are created by default. That's why in this section you see set group number 7. Because if you're going to select something else besides everything that has been defined by default, the next element is going to be the group number 7. So let's say I select these two elements, and let's say I select one of this. As you can see immediately, this is assigned with the set group number 7. This information will be presented here. And it's very important to have it because it helps you orient yourself in case that you are mixing different sections of the geometry of your object. Let me accept this. And now let's go back to select the object and paint polygroup. Now we have, as you can see here, the group. The next one will be the group number 8. So if I select now, let's say these two objects here, now you can see that I have the number 8. And if I accept, again, let's go back to the object and paint polygroups, now we have the number 8. Following the use of this visualization section, let's say that I take this group number 7, but I want to unselect this element. So I can use shift-click and unselect the object. But in the moment that I unselect the object, what could happen is that the object that will be selected by default when I unselect will be this element here. So let's say that I want to change that to 0. If I click while pressing the shift key, now this will be the element 0. Now let's say that I want that by default this value should be like the same that we have here, which is the number 6. Then what I'm going to do is select 6 here, keep shift down and click, and now you have that the entire area is an area of a number 6. Another interesting tool to mention on the painting polygroups is this one, which is called only set on group. When you set groups, every side, it will have a number different to 0. So when you find 8, 7, 6, and all the sides that we have here, you can see that they are all different to 0. And if I select only set on group, and I try to select these sections, which will be the group number 9, and I'm clicking, this is not working because all these objects are set. Now, if I want to unset them, the thing I have to do is to shift, click a selection, and then move my mouse. And now you can see that this section, this particular section, and let's say that I'm going to use this one as well, these sections are not set to any group. So if I now click over this section without using the shift, as you can see, I am creating a new group, which will be this assigned group number 9. And now I can accept. And if you go back to the object and to the paint polygroups, you can see that we have a new group, which is the group number 9. You will find other tools in this section of the paint polygroups that you can use, but I have to tell you that based on my experience, these are the ones that I use the most. In any case, I also invite you to try and test all the things like For example, the filters for selecting objects, for selecting sites that are in one specific angle threshold. I have to say that in my case, didn't work the way I was expecting, but you can find that for yourself is something that it will help you do your work. In resume, in this section, we covered these two particular tools, which are the generate polygroups and the paint polygroups that we are using later on for edit materials and for working with our object in different ways so we can assign different textures to different sides of the meshes that we are creating. Get ready for what's coming next.